Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to install the swivel mount for the Cybertruck screen. Alright, I did see some videos where it actually lowers the screen a bit, so here you can see from my viewpoint, okay, this is how high the screen is. So we'll see how high it is once we install it. I currently have a discount code with CTMODS. They also sell stuff for other Tesla vehicles, Test Studio. So you can use my discount code, it's Binh, alright? And then you can get, I believe right now it's a Christmas 30% off. I'll put the thing on the screen and then you can use that. Alright, so I made a video previously showing all the components and everything. But first thing we're going to need is the little pry tool. We need to pry out the little bottom portion here. There's a little pry point here, okay? So that's what we're going to be prying at with the pry tool. So let's go ahead and get that. And we can get in here with the pry tool and then we can pop that out. You can see how easy that popped out. Okay, there's one on the other side as well. So you get the tool in there, same thing, pop that out. And you can see this whole thing just falls down. This is an ambient sensor, air temperature sensor, I believe. All right, so in the bag, it comes with this tool, okay? So it has all the tools we'll need. Basically, you're gonna use that to get it out. So it helps to do it this way. I'm gonna remove this first because there's not much room to disconnect that cable. So there's two screws. There's one on this side and one on this side. So we have this, we're gonna try and use that to get on there and undo that. You want to twist it counterclockwise, obviously. This tool is a little bit tricky to use. I know my hand's in the way, I'm sorry. Let's see if this works better. Okay, so get that in there and then twist it. This tool's a little bit cramped in here to use. So if you have a screwdriver bit, I would recommend using that. I can actually go grab my tools real quick and I'll be back and I'll tell you what size this screwdriver is. This is using a T20, alright, Torx 20. Alright, let's see if that works. So we're going to use the T20. There's not much room up here. You got to kind of get it up between the screen, but there we go. We'll undo this screw. Okay, so there's that one screw. We'll set that aside. And then let's grab the other screw. So the other screw on this side, I think we gotta, I don't know if we can even tilt it that way. Let's see. Can we? I might have to use the other thing first just so I can kind of angle it or get more torque. Because the screwdriver, it's so cramped in here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the other thing for more torque. So we'll first loosen it a little bit with this one. Okay. And you gotta turn this counterclockwise. Okay. Okay, just like that. Jeez, this screwdriver, it wants to like keep falling over. It's hard to keep it in the screw. It's kind of, I feel they could do better with that. All right, let's see if I can use the screwdriver now. There's not much room, so you got to put the screwdriver up into there first, and then you can get, and then start twisting. Wow, no, that's really tough. So these screws are really difficult to get out, okay? So don't think it's gonna be easy. Okay, there we go. Obviously using the L shape, it's easier, you have more leverage. But this makes it, if I can use it, it's easier to turn. Okay, nope. There's no leverage and those screws are too tight, so we do have to use this and we're just gonna have to do it slowly, I guess. Okay. If I had, I don't know what I did with my bendy thing, adapter, the extension that lets me flex where the screwdriver is going, that would make it a little bit easier probably. Okay. Hopefully you guys are able to see. Wow, I can't even get the screwdriver into the thing. This is so... Okay. The screw is holding too tight. There we go, we're getting it. Okay, so just take your time. I'm showing the entire process so you know how much work is going into this. Okay, some people like to just cut to the end and be like, yeah, unscrew this. And if you want to just do that, you can just fast forward over and then see what the final thing looks like. But I like to show how difficult it is so you know what to expect, okay? Not where you just go, remove these screws and then all magically they're gone. That kind of thing I feel is not too useful if you want to see how much work is going into this. Okay, so here we go. We got this piece out, and you can see the screws actually somewhat stuck in this, so that's probably why it was so difficult. Let me see. Now I should be able to use the screwdriver because I can tip it more to the side, maybe. Okay, then we can unscrew this. So this screw was kind of going diagonal. That's why it was so difficult. All right, there we go. That side. Okay, so now we got both screws out, and you can see that thing just hanging there. Let me show you what this part looks like here. Let me tilt the camera down. Okay, so here's what the original thing looks like. I don't know if we have to remove any of this. I don't think so. I don't think we need to remove any of this. So this is what that looks like. Okay, I might need to take note of how this sensor was in here because it was facing this way, right? So it was like this. Oops, sorry, you can't see, huh? Okay, so you see this foam portion here that goes around this square. So that's how this was sitting in there. I think this is the Tesla part number stuff here. There you go. Okay. And they have this Cybertruck made in Mexico. Okay, here's some more part numbers and assembly numbers. All right, and that's what the bottom looks like. All right, next step, we're gonna use a 10mm socket wrench. Okay, and there's 2 of these we're gonna have to remove. So we'll get in there. Oops, to make sure you twist it so that it turns the thing counterclockwise to untighten it. Okay. There's 2 of these. Oh, don't lose it. Okay, so has one. It sounded like there might have been a washer, but let me see. Okay, I need to be careful with the other one because I don't see the washer here. So let's get the second one. Was there a washer or did it just hit the tool? Okay, slowly. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, there's no washer there, so I don't know. It just hit the tool or something made that jingly. So there's the second one. Okay, set that aside. Okay, next thing, we're gonna have to take the screen out. So I think we can just pull this. Oh yeah, it's only 2 screws, super easy. Okay, give me a second, let me give you guys a top view. All right, I know it's at a weird angle, but yeah. All right, let's go ahead and carefully pull this forward. You wanna be careful because there's the wires back there. Okay, and, oh, why'd the screen automatically go off? I'm gonna have to adjust the thing to get a better view here. All right, I had to tie my hair so it's easier to work on this stuff. There's no lighting back here, so it's really hard to see. Oh man, I gotta be careful here. I'm gonna end up breaking this thing. Give me a second, I'll move you guys. All right, so I found a solution. I'm tilting the thing like this, and now you can actually see the bottom of the screen here. So I need to set up the camera so you guys can see. And if you're wondering why the screen keeps turning on and off, it's because it keeps detecting me getting out of the seat, and it's like no one's in the car, so that's why it's shutting off, okay? It's not because I'm yanking the screen cable or anything like that. Oh, and here you can see the sensor. Be careful, don't touch that. You don't want it to get dirty. Although it looks like it's a little dusty or something already. All right, anyways, let me set up the camera and then see if I can show you this. So you can't just yank this out. Okay, the orange piece, there you go. So you have to pull that orange piece on the sides down. After you pull that, you see this black piece in the middle here? Okay, so now that you pulled the orange part down, you should be able to pull this black portion in. You see that? It pulls. And then we should be able, there we go. It came out pretty easily. And now we just unthread everything here. Okay. So we can move this sensor out. Drop that in there. and then this piece needs to come out, and there we go. We got the entire screen out. It actually was super easy to remove. The hardest part was trying to record it for you guys. So let me see if I can show you this now. Okay, so here is the connector. So we actually have to remove this outer casing piece. I'm gonna have to see if I can show it. You see there's a clip here and a clip there. There's actually a few clips. There's 2 on that side and 2 on that side. Oh, there's actually cool air that comes out here, so they probably use that to cool the screen. Okay, here's the other sensor. I think this little piece is, if you wanted to remove it, you have to push that in and then you can pull it out. I'll see if I can show you that portion, so that way if you wanted to remove that and then take the screws out later, you can do that. So let me see if I can show that. Alright, let's see if I can show you guys how to unclip this thing. There's 2 clips here, so we're going to pull these aside. Alright, so we should be able to pull this clip out. You might have to use a small little thin tool, maybe like a flathead screwdriver or something, because yeah, it's really hard to get in there. Screwdriver's probably the way, but sorry, I'm going out of view, aren't I? Okay. Oh, that's getting it up, I think. Come on, I'm gonna end up stabbing myself. There we go. We got the screwdriver underneath there. Sorry if it's going out of view. Okay, and we should be able to pull this clip forward and out. Come on. Wow. Oh, that clip just snapped off. That's not good. Oh man, it just snapped off. You see that? So now I can't even put it back the same way it was. These clips are too strong. I guess we're gonna just destroy all the clips. Okay, so I went in from the corner, the side here, edge, and then get under there, and then we got under there, and there you go. Now we can lift this. Okay, and once you get one side, oh, I guess now I broke the whole thing. So it came with a replacement of this piece, so I guess they expect people will likely break it, so they have a replacement. So that comes off, and then this whole thing should come off as well. Let's see, how do we get this whole piece off from here? Oh, okay, so that just slides off. Okay, so we'll set that aside. All right, and if you look at this, the shape, you see how it has to have these kind of rounded off portions. If you look at the extension cable, you see the shape. So you want to match up the shape here, okay? The thing is, I don't know how it's going to make sure it doesn't just fall back out. Anyways, we'll line this up. Oh, actually, it's pretty firm connection. Okay, so that actually holds on really tight. It has like, it's a bit rubbery, as you can see. So it actually grips around the thing. So get that in. Isn't it going back in now? I hope I didn't damage something. It's being difficult. All right. Sorry if it's not focusing right, but basically line up the thing, the shape, and push it in. Come on. Why isn't it going back in? Is it a one-time? Oh, there we go. I had to like wiggle it sideways, and there we go. All right, I like to show the struggle portions because sometimes people will be like, oh yeah, just do this. It's really easy. And then when you go to do it, it's not easy. Okay, so anyways, now we're gonna install the screws for the ambient sensor thing. It actually uses the same screws. Let's go ahead and remove the sensor from the connector here to see if that will make it a little bit easier to work with. So there's this little clip in here on the side, so I'm going to try and push it in with that, and then actually there's also a little notch up here that you can use to pinch in, so you can pinch that in up there as well, and then while you're pinching that in, we should be able to pull this out. Oh man, it's not easy, huh? Yeah, so this releases that clip, this thing. If you push that, you can see it pulls that clip in, and then we should be able to pull this connector out, but wow, it's in there tight. And I don't want to just yank on all these wires, but that might be what we have to do. So push that clip and then wiggle and pull these wires. There we go. Okay, so while you're kind of wiggling and pulling, and then there we go. I stopped pulling the clip once I slid this up slightly so that this connector was in. Okay, so here's the sensor, and then we're going to attach it to this piece. Okay, it can only go one way, so you can see if you put it the wrong way, now the screw holes don't line up. So we'll rotate it around and we'll put it in this way. And then we got to hold that in place and just put those screws in. Okay, so you can see it has a little wiggle room, so make sure you get it in right. This one seems to be a full circle. This one seems like they made it so it has some little wiggle room. So you want to put the one with the circle in first, because the other one will have a little play to get it in the right way. So let me see if I can do this here. Okay, so I like to twist it backwards to try and get it to align right, and then we'll go ahead and tighten this down. And I'm going to loosen, not tighten it completely down first, so leave a little bit extra just so you have that wiggle room. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and get the other screw, and we'll get that, line that up. Make sure it goes in straight. You don't want this to go, the screw to go in crooked, and then it will strip out the thing. So there you go, make sure it's going in straight, and then you can go ahead and tighten it down. Okay, make sure it's good, everything's lined up right. Alright, and then now we'll tighten it all the way. Tighten that all the way, and we'll tighten this all the way. There we go. Okay, that's all the way in. We can go ahead and clip this back on. So we'll get that, line it up with the clip there, with the hole. Okay, and then just click that in. Very simple. But anyways, here is the screen. I have the matte screen protector on it. I need to get a different one because this one has some marks, but here you go. As you can see, it got all dusty back there. We are going to have to transfer this over, and you can see there's a little clip here that holds it in place. You can see it doesn't want to come out. Okay, and here you can see what the screen connector looks like. It almost looks like USB-C, but I don't think it is, because there's only a one, like it has to be right side up a certain way. Alright, let me see if I can get you guys on the tripod, and then I'll show you how to remove this. Alright, so I found a simple way to get this out. So just get a small flathead screwdriver bit like this. You can actually use an actual flathead screwdriver, but I found this works well. So basically you want to get this into the little gap in the side. Let me see if I can zoom in here and show you. Okay, it might be better to go from this side so you don't accidentally drop the bit into there. It would help if I had smaller hands, but basically you want to get, let me see, will it work easier if I rotate this? Maybe I can get it. Okay, it'll be easier from this side if I rotate it that way. Okay, so you get that into the corner there. You see, now we got the flathead screwdriver bit into the corner, and then you pry it up. And while you're like, so you pull down on this, which pries that up, and then you can actually, there you go, pull that out. So we're going to carefully wiggle that out. And there you go, nice and easy. All right, so let me show you what it looks like on the back there and why it clips in. So this piece, let me zoom out. So this piece, it slides into this, and what you have on the back is this little clip here. So that clips into a little notch, the little notch back there, okay? And that's why it's hard to get out. So basically what we're doing by prying this is pulling this piece or pushing that into this hole. All right, so it pulls it up so that way it has room to come out. All right, so there you go. Only thing is now it's a little bit marked up there. Okay, I don't know if there's a more gentle tool to use for that. If you have something similar to this that you can get in there and pry it up, then yeah, that will work. All right, so let's go ahead and continue with installing the screen. All right, if I didn't already show inside, this is what the inside looks like. Right, not really much there. So if the screen breaks, it's actually not too bad to replace. All right, anyways, let's go ahead now and install the other stuff. All right, next we're gonna put the swivel mount hinge, okay? So it goes in like this. You want this portion facing down. So this goes in all the way and it lines up here. Okay, then we have this plastic portion. It slides over on top. This has to go underneath like that. Okay, make sure that these cables all go to the side here, in between here. Okay, So pull that over. This will slide over like that. Okay, again, make sure these cabling are out of the way. That fits nicely. Okay, next we can pull this back a little first and then hopefully get this on. Let's try and do this real quick. Okay, so that side's in, and then I'm gonna get behind here and hopefully get the other side in. There we go. Wait, no. It's hard to do this, jeez. Okay, there we go. So I got all of that in. I don't know if you can see it now. So that thing is hooked in on both sides. Now we're gonna go ahead and push this in. Hopefully we can clip it on. Come on, get in there. There we go. And then get the other side in. Wow, that's not easy to push in. Do I need to pull from the top to flex it? Okay, get that side in and get that side. There we go. Okay, so now we got the ambient sensor back in, and you see this piece is sticking out, so we're gonna have to push that in. I gotta get my finger in. There we go. Okay, so now we got that. Okay, now we're gonna put these bolts in here to hold this whole piece back together. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that back in. Okay, I always like to turn it, oh, you can't even see, my hand's in the way, huh? I like to turn it backwards and feel it click into place. There we go. Then tighten it in. I'll loosely fit that one first, and then we'll do the second one. Okay, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully you guys are able to see what's going on here. Okay, I'll twist it backwards first, try and get it to drop in the right place. Come on, you can see it's not in the right place here. Okay, I twist it backwards, you feel it click, right, like that, and then tighten it in. Make sure this is pushed in all the way, make sure the metal bracket is pushed in all the way, and then you can go ahead and tighten that all the way up. Okay, try and tighten it quite a bit. There you go, and then we'll do the other side. I know my hand's probably going to be in the way, but it is what it is. I'm sorry. I need to tighten this all the way. Okay, we have this cable now sticking out, so let's go ahead and install that. Let me move the camera so hopefully you can get a better view. Alright, so I actually found a good way to use the zip ties. So first what you want to do, if you can't tell, I combined the two zip ties, okay? So you want to latch it on so that they're both latched together. Okay, this is how you do it. So on this piece you have the thick portion. I'll probably have to just take it out and show you when I'm done because I can't get a good camera angle here, but yeah, hopefully you get, okay, maybe that's kind of okay. All right, so basically we're gonna go diagonally across. Okay, so you can see we can latch one on here, okay, and that way this is kind of grabbing that, and then we're gonna put the other one diagonal. And that way, when you pull on it, it's actually going to pull the two pieces together and it'll be impossible for it to come out. Okay, so I'm going to do that. We'll do this. You don't have to get them evenly lined up, but I'm going to try and get them as evenly lined up as I can. Okay, so they have the both amount of slack on the end. Okay, so go about to there. Alright, and you want it so that this portion, the corner, rests on top of the cable there, and that will be the best, I feel. Okay, so we're going to pull more of this slack. Make sure if you pull this, it's not going to be able to come out. I did undo the zip tie earlier, so yeah, pretty much if you did that, you might want to get some new zip ties. Oh, and this actually isn't a perfect fit, so I guess let's actually do it. So this line is further over here, and we'll get this one that's on the corner. You see this one? So because this one is much bigger area to rest. Alright, so we'll try and get it to do that. It's not going to be super easy, but let's see. Actually, you might have to just settle with however it will fit. Okay, so we'll sit that guy on there. We'll get this guy over to here. Okay, and then you basically just tighten this as much as possible. So I'm gonna rotate that one and pull this. take this guy and pull this. Alright, make sure that's in all the way. It would be actually good if you have 4 of these and you can do a crisscross, and that way for sure it will like never be able to come out. Right, you see that? Okay, so that's how I'm gonna put the zip ties, and this should make it to where it could never pop out. That's gonna be impossible for them to separate. Okay, so there we go. And then we're gonna have to shove that into there, okay, because we don't need all this excess. Alright, so get that. If you want, you can chop off the ends of the zip tie. I like to leave it in case I need to, for some reason, take it out and then reuse it. I use a pin to lift the little thing that catches on the teeth, and then I can reuse that. But anyways, there's that. I have a feeling these zip ties will get softer if the weather gets really hot, but hopefully it will hold up well. Okay, so there's that. That's how I do the zip tie. Let me give you a better view close up. Okay, so you can see it crisscrosses over there, and then they're basically squeezing each other together, so it's impossible for this to come out. Again, if you have another 2, you can actually go on the other side and zip tie that. Alright, so anyways, let's go ahead and push the cabling in behind the screen hole mount. Okay, so you just basically shove this in there. Okay, shove the excess in there. Good. We're gonna, for right now, put that on top, but we're gonna have to change it up later. Let me give you a better view. We're gonna add the little clip onto the end. Alright, so this part, since we took this clip off, we're gonna now reattach it. So it did come with an extra one of these. I guess they know that most people are gonna break it. Keep in mind, you want the larger end to the back here and the smaller one on the inside. You can tell because the way it has those little latches. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and plug this in. Also take note, you can see the shape here. Okay, so this has the little diagonal cuts, so that's the side that will line up with the diagonal cuts here. Okay, so we'll get this into there, slide that all the way in. Okay, push it in as far as it will go. Alright, that seems as far as it will go. It won't go anymore. So the way you see these little 2 circles here, so that actually lines up with the holes here, and then we can go ahead and get this piece, line that up, click that down, and there we go. We have the reassembled connector here. Okay, alright, so there we go. Now what we got to do, we got to push this excess all in there, and then we got to get the screen into place. First things first, we do need to thread it through here. Okay, all right, then we get the screen and plug this in. So this just plugs in like that. All right, so I have the screen resting on the dash like that, or the air vent area. All right, so once you got everything plugged in, and then we should be able to just pull that clip up. All right, and now it's clipped in. It's going to be impossible for that to come out. All right, so let's go ahead now and clip this cover onto the back of the screen, reinstall everything, and we're good to go. All right, so we're going to flip the screen over, and I'm going to actually lock the screen so I don't accidentally keep touching stuff. Display screen clean mode. All right, so we're going to flip this over. We got this piece here. Okay, line everything up. Obviously this you're going to have to push off to the side here. The hardest part is, I don't know why, but the left side on this, when I was doing it, it's hard to click into place. So let's see, so we might have to click that one in first. Okay, and then rotate it. Let's see, come on. Yeah, the left side's being a pain. I don't know why. Okay. There we go. Okay, click that in, and then click this side in. Make sure everything is lined up. Come on. This part's kind of hard to click in. There we go. Click that in, and there we go. So now we got everything reassembled. You got to push this excess cable off into the side here. Okay, rotate this to make it easier. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and get this onto the bracket. All right, so we need to now slot this in, so line it up. I tilted it back so that way it's a little bit easier. All right, I tilted it back so it's a little easier, so you can kind of like rest it on there, but you don't want to let the screen just rest on there because weight will pull up the plastic piece if you just let it rest on there. So why is it not reaching this side? Come on, I need two hands, give me a second. Alright, so I got the whole thing slotted in, as you can see. Now we just got to get the bolts in. Alright, let's get the bolts in. So, we use the L-shaped tool here, and then the new screws that they included. Okay, it'll be a little bit tricky to find the initial alignment, so get the screw in, okay? And then you might have to wiggle it all around to find where to get it in. So I got the screw in. I'm going to now put the tool. Okay. Oh, it's hard to do this without being able to see since the camera's in my way. I might have to do it without the camera in my way first. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to do one first and then I'll be back. Alright, I got one of them in, as you can see. Let's go ahead and get the second one. I had to actually tilt it more flat to make it a little bit easier. Okay, so we'll get this in now. Hopefully you guys can see what's going on. And then you gotta kind of tilt it, make sure it's going in. Okay, it should be, it seems like it's right. Alright, so there we go. Now we got that in all the way. And then we'll get the last one, make sure it's in all the way. It's hard to do this when I can't see. Okay, get that in all the way. Alright, and then you want to use the tool sideways like this to get more leverage, and then make sure to tighten them all up. Okay, make sure, there you go, and then pull that tight. This gives you more leverage. Okay, same thing with this side. Good. Alright, and then double check the last, or the two bolts we did originally here. Hopefully you can see that. Make sure that's tightened all the way. Okay, you can see I can still twist it quite a bit. So, get that one, tighten that all the way. Now we can actually tilt the screen out of the way a bit. Good. Okay, tighten that all the way. Perfect. Alright. Can double check this one as well. Okay. Then we'll double check the other one. It helps to be able to tilt the screen. And the last one right here. Right, okay. Alright, and tighten that in real good. Alright, now that's going nowhere. All the cables are firmly secured. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, if your screen's not turning on, you want to hold the two scroll wheels, so this ball, and just push them in. And if you press and hold it, and just keep holding it, just keep holding it, it should eventually restart. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I kept holding it. Once it goes black, you can just let go, and then there's that. Okay, I'm going to turn these off just so you can see what it looks like without the glare all over it. Maybe this will help if the sun is glaring on it. I can tilt it and move it a little so the sun doesn't glare at me. This looks like it would be good for like movie watching, if you just want to use it for watching movies. Okay, the steering wheel obviously isn't going to get in the way. Okay, like it's impossible. You can't even hit the steering wheel with this, so that's good. All right, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So it does come with, I don't know why it's doing that weird rectangle in the top left, but it only does that when I do the reset. I didn't try doing the reset with the original cable, with the original setup, so I'm not sure if it does that same thing. I don't remember. But yeah, there we go. It looks like it's good. So here's what the screen looks like. You can tilt it back slightly, okay, if you want. So if there's glare, you can tilt it this way. You can tilt it completely flat. Now there, I see myself glared. So yeah, you can tilt it that way. You can do that. If the cable's making some noise, you might have to adjust it a little bit under there. I don't know if you can even see, but there's the cable here, okay? You can see how much slack wiggle room there is now, okay? And it's making some scratchy noises because I left the excess zip tie. So if that bothers you, you could always cut that, but you can see now, no noise, okay? Just had to adjust it to where the cable wouldn't wiggle around. And then here you can see the back. The only thing with this is now you can't really put a tray here because this will move around. So yeah, keep that in mind if you use one of those trays. And yeah, this will be hitting it. I did end up scratching it a little bit, scuffing it, trying to get it in. But there we go, okay? And tilts like that. And let me show you now how you saw it before. I need to readjust to my original profile. Okay, so you can see the viewing angle like when I showed earlier, okay? Okay, so from my perspective here, you can see the screen. It's a lot lower than before, probably at about an inch or so, right? I kind of wished it was higher because there's all this empty space. So the screen can actually, if you tilt it like this, you see the screen can like come up to here and it wouldn't even be an issue. So it can actually go up quite a bit more. But anyways, I guess we'll drive with it a bit and then we'll see. But so far, it seems okay. I think having it at this angle tilted back will be somewhat nice, and I'll have to adjust it as the sun moves, as it glares at me. So we'll turn this off and you can kind of see. I'll just wipe it down. All right, you can see it's a little bit wiggly left and right, but after that initial like slight wiggle, that it gets firm right there. So it will only have that very slight play there. And yeah, so there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it helped you decide if you want to get one of these. All right, again, I have a discount code, 30% off at CTMODS. They also, if you buy other Tesla accessories or if you have other Teslas, they also have Test Studio. So yeah, check them out. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.